I am ready to upset some people because today in this video we're going to be comparing two of Southeast Asia's major cities, Kuala Lumpur and Jakarta.
And we are going to rank them, so wait till the end to find out which city wins.
Let's go.
For those who don't know us, we are Nabeel and Zenesta, and for the past 1 year, we have been slow traveling the world with our toddler, with a very simple goal of creating an online-based freedom business.
And during this time, we had the opportunity to live in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur for 3 months and 2 months in Jakarta, Indonesia. So without further ado, let's get straight into the different categories.
Cost of living is very important given the current scenario that we are living in all over the world. Now, for Kuala Lumpur in particular, I wouldn't say that Kuala Lumpur is cheap. However, it provides a good value for money considering everything altogether. For example, if you look at the international cuisine, you have a lot of options, but then they tend to be a bit on a higher end.
When it comes to Jakarta, Indonesia, overall, we found it quite affordable and quite similar to Kuala Lumpur. However, one of the things that we would like to highlight is that the accommodation is slightly on the higher side, especially if you want to live in one of those expat locations. Overall, for us, we would probably say that Kuala Lumpur has got a slight edge on Jakarta when it comes to cost of living. For Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, the process was very simple for us. We basically rocked up and got 90 days visa on arrival and we didn't have to pay anything. On the other hand, for Jakarta, Indonesia, we were going to get 30-day visa on arrival, but since we wanted to stay a bit longer, we had to pay for a 60-day visa. And that was actually quite expensive and a bit cumbersome, like navigating that whole process.
Well, one of the tips we would like to give in terms of visa for Indonesia is that make sure you use government-supported website because there are a lot of scammers trying to get your money.
And we'll put that link for you in the description. So for us, the winner is Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and by a far shot.
The weather in Kuala Lumpur is very predictable. It's hot and sunny, and every other day you know that there's going to be rain. And that's pretty similar throughout the entire year. Now, in terms of pollution, it's moderate, but it's something that you don't feel that much. So I would say it was a very good experience for us.
When it comes to Jakarta, Indonesia, they do have a few seasons in comparison to Malaysia. We went during the sort of end of rainy season, so we didn't get that much rain, but still we did see like a few areas here and there do get a bit flooded. And as far as pollution is concerned, it's actually not the best, so it's always advisable to wear a mask when you're outside on a motorbike or walking around. For us, we would say that Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia is a winner when it comes to this particular category.
English is widely spoken in Kuala Lumpur, maybe due to the colonial history it has.
But when it comes to Jakarta, English proficiency is not as much as, say, Kuala Lumpur. But, when you stay in like the expat areas, it's pretty good. Like, you can sort of get by. But if you go to most areas outside of those expat areas, English proficiency does become a little bit of a challenge, but you've always got Google Translate and people are actually quite friendly, so you shouldn't have much of an issue. In this particular category, we would definitely have to give the point to Kuala Lumpur. KL is a modern city with modern public transportation. That is one of the things we noticed in and around the city center. But as you go away from the city, it does become a little bit more infrequent. So you would rely more on ride-sharing apps like Grab, which is extremely convenient and quite reasonable. The only thing that we would say is that Kuala Lumpur, what we notice is probably more a city for cars, and you don't really have the bike options and you don't really have many different ride-sharing apps compared to some of the other cities we've been in Southeast Asia.
In Jakarta, there are a lot of options like the metro lines and dedicated bus lanes which make traveling much more faster. For Jakarta, there are Grab and Gojek, which opens up the scene for cars and also bikes, which actually in Jakarta, the bike scene is very big. Most people travels in bike. Now for Jakarta in particular, the prices are a bit lower in comparison to Kuala Lumpur, and when you call for a Grab car or a bike, they come much more faster in comparison to Kuala Lumpur.
So overall, when we think about it from a public transport perspective, and I know some people in Malaysia might not like this, but we just felt like the public transport options and ride-sharing options in Jakarta had this slight edge on Malaysia, so we'll have to give this point to Jakarta, Indonesia.
Kuala Lumpur is pretty safe and they have very low crime rate. Wherever we went, whether it's Kuala Lumpur or any other part in Malaysia, we never felt unsafe and we felt very comfortable. However, one thing to notice is that on peak hours, the traffic is quite bad, so you would have to wait in the car. But other than that, there was not much of a waiting time while we traveled all over in Kuala Lumpur.
On the other hand, Jakarta, we also felt was quite safe, although I cannot say that about the entire city. You know, wherever we went, we found it quite safe, whether it was day or night. As far as traffic is concerned, unfortunately, you know, it is true, the traffic in Jakarta is actually, you know, pretty hectic.
And I must add to that, all the videos that you see in social media of the motorbikes whizzing by and people just can't cross the road, those are correct.
Yeah, I mean, but you do get used to it after a while, but initially it does, you know, feel a little bit hectic. We would try to use the motorbike whenever we could, but when we had our daughter with us, we had no option but to use the car.
There are many families who would ride with their kids, but obviously we didn't feel that comfortable.
So overall, when it comes to traffic and safety, in this category, we'll have to give the point to Kuala Lumpur. So as you know, we've been traveling with our toddler, and wherever we went, we haven't been homeschooling her. Instead, we have been sending her to international preschools. I would say both Jakarta and Kuala Lumpur are actually quite family friendly, and you know, you do have a substantial expat community. So, you know, finding international preschools has not been an issue with us. In fact, in both of these areas, we found pretty high quality schools at very affordable rates. Although we would say in Jakarta, it's a little bit more expensive than Kuala Lumpur, but you know, the quality still overall was pretty good. And as far as entertainment for kids is concerned, you do have quite a lot of parks, you've got indoor play areas, you've got a lot of fun activities for kids outdoors as well. So yeah, I mean, both of these cities are pretty family friendly. So
for us, it's a tie.
Absolutely.
I love the food in Kuala Lumpur. Hands down, it was a bit like a best experience we had. It had Chinese, it had Malay, it had Indian cuisine, and on top of that, you have a variety of international cuisines at offer, which comes at a very affordable price. We were in a foodie's paradise in Kuala Lumpur.
When it comes to Jakarta, you do have quite a lot of local options as well as international options, but the international options is probably nowhere close to, say, Kuala Lumpur. And as far as Indonesian food in Jakarta, it is quite similar to Malay food, but the thing is that after a while you do crave a bit of variety, and that's where the lack of options in international food just makes it a little bit hard. So we will probably have to give the point to Malaysia, because we just felt like the variety there and the quality and the affordability all in all was just way better.
Yeah.
This is one of the biggest perks of living in Southeast Asia, which is the comfort and the services that you get, especially after living in a Western country for such a long time. It was amazing to be able to have the option to have your food, groceries, etc. just delivered to your home like within a few hours. So, and at a very, very affordable price. So in Malaysia, obviously the two most popular apps for services like this are Grab and Lala Move, and both of them were quite efficient and quite affordable.
For Jakarta, Grab and Gojek are the popular apps. For us, I feel that the prices were much more, a little bit cheaper in terms of in Jakarta in comparison to Kuala Lumpur.
We'll probably have to give this a tie.
Kuala Lumpur has both high-end malls and also local markets, and you are going to have various options to choose from. To be honest, it has everything. So in particular, if you're someone who wants to buy tech is very good in Kuala Lumpur. In, what was the name of the shopping center?
Loyat Shopping Mall.
And you could really get your products at a very cheaper price, and then you also don't have to pay any sales tax.
Exactly. And on the other hand, in Jakarta, we just felt like, you know, Jakarta is a city of shopping centers. And we thought we'd seen shopping centers in Bangkok, but Jakarta just takes it to a different level. Later, we actually found out that Jakarta actually has one of the highest numbers of shopping centers in, you know, Southeast Asia and Asia in general, and it has like 3 times more shopping malls than Malaysia. And you know, some of these shopping malls are pretty souped up. Like you have like anything that you need, you can find it there. But the only thing that I would say is that, you know, it's like especially imported stuff are a little bit on the more expensive side. But you know, when it comes to just options, like you just get shopping mall like every few kilometers there, like, and these are like massive malls. So we'll probably have to give this category category to Jakarta, even though I know a lot of Malaysian viewers might not like this.
If you have been keeping tally, you would already know the answer, but let me serve you the answer for you. Obviously, Kuala Lumpur wins as the best city to live in comparison to Jakarta.
We felt Kuala Lumpur is a pretty advanced city, and especially if you're coming from a Western, country, it's an amazing transition into Southeast Asia. But I wouldn't say Jakarta is actually quite far. They're trying really hard to actually address some of the issues that they have had, especially around traffic and pollution. There are a lot of expats who actually go and live in Jakarta as well. So it is, not that far behind now.
And in saying that, I would also like to add that for decades, you would have seen like digital nomads going to Southeast Asia, to these kind of cities, for the fact that they can have a lower cost of living and because of the beautiful weather. Now it's not being limited to the digital nomads anymore. Very, very wealthy people are also making these Southeast Asian countries and cities their second home too. So it's not only for the digital nomad.
Exactly. We hope this video was helpful. And if you want to know more about Malaysia, we did a video about why we feel Malaysia is one of the most underrated countries in the world. We'll link it for you over here and in the description.
So don't forget to subscribe to our channel and follow our journey
as we try to create time using the concept of currency hacking to create a freedom-based business. See you in the next video.
Bye-bye.
Bye.